What's going on, everyone? So, Bleacher Report has been putting out all like their predictions and whatnot. And for the Los Angeles Lakers, they predicted that the Lakers would go 50-32 on the season this year, which, if I'm being honest, is better than what I thought, especially given, which I think is odd here, right? Because Bleacher Report said that they were the 10th best team in all of basketball and 7th in the Western Conference, but have them with 50 wins. Now, to be fair, the Lakers had 50 wins, but so did the Nuggets, the Clippers, right? So you had basically 3 through 5 had 50 wins. So to me, it's like, what is it, right? Are the Lakers the 7th best team in the Western Conference, or are they the 5th best team or top 5, I guess, in the Western Conference? Because Lakers, due to tiebreakers, ended up in the 3rd. So last year it was the Thunder who had 68 wins. The Houston Rockets had 52 wins. The Lakers had 50 wins. Nuggets had 50 wins. Clippers had 50 wins. And then obviously Minnesota, who we lost to in the first round, had 49 wins, right? The difference between the Lakers as the 3 seed and the 7 seed was only 2 games, right? The Warriors, or I guess really the 8th seed, because the Memphis Grizzlies were 48-34 as well. So you're talking 2 games separated the Lakers and the 3 seed from the Grizzlies and the 8th seed, right? I think that the Lakers probably win somewhere in like the 52 to 55 range. To me, it boils down to how good, and I'll do like my locked in predictions and stuff as we get closer to training camp. I want to wait and see, look, very likely the Lakers are going to stand pat and just stay who they are, at least going into the season, which I'm fine with. Talked about that on several occasions. I'm totally okay with the Lakers going in, kind of seeing and evaluating what you have and then kind of taking it from there. But I do want to wait just in case, because I don't want to be like, oh, the team with this, and then you go and you make some other trades and make another move, and then I got to do everything all over. So kind of want to wait, be patient. We still got a month and a half for training camp. Once we get into training camp, I'll do all the, player breakdowns and stats and, my predictions, and we'll do all those fun videos, kind of dive into it, do the live stream so, we can all have those conversations in real time, all of that. So look forward to that. But just throughout videos, I've said, I could see the Lakers winning 55 games and being, the 2 or the 3 seed, right? Because I think their offense is going to be the best offense in all of basketball. At worst, I think they're probably top 3. The question is, can their defense be serviceable enough, right? I think that the lack of defense is a little overblown, right? I think they're going to be pretty good defensively. That doesn't mean that they're going to be great or elite or anything like that, but I could see them defensively in that 12 to 15 range, right? Because we've seen LeBron is willing to buy in and kind of anchor the defense, especially when Anthony Davis left. Now that you have Luka full season and he's not going to have to do as much, can he buy in a little more on the defense side of things? Jared Vanderbilt, you're going to have a full season of health, and he was the most versatile defensive player in basketball last year. Not my opinion, a literal statistical fact. I did a whole video breaking that down, and it wasn't even my information to where you'd be like, oh, well, you're just a course by. No, it came from Grandis McBasketball. Again, I broke that whole thing down. Go check out that video if you're interested in that after this video, of course. But you have Jared Vanderbilt, you have Marcus Smart, who, yes, I know has had some injury issues the last few seasons, but defensively, again, look it up. He's been great defensively. He's still been a very good defensive player. Go look at his numbers, which, again, I did a video breaking this down also, but Marcus Smart, his defensive numbers with Memphis on and off the court are astonishing, right? So you have that defensive impact. Jake LaRavia, again, same thing. Go look at Memphis and the Sacramento Kings and the on and off numbers with him defensively. Again, astonishing, right? He was a B+ rated defender. He said himself, hey, the one thing I worked on was my defense. I believe if I improved on anything, it's my defense. I love that. You got to do Thero, right? You're going to have Gabe Vincent, Bronny James. Right? Lakers have defensive pieces, right? When people talk about the Lakers' lack of defense, it's like they pretend the Lakers just have zero defense. They're all off. They have zero. No, they have defense. The starting unit is kind of all offense, right? But defensively, they do have a lot of just really good defensive pieces. The problem is they don't have the two-way pieces, right? Like Jared Vanderbilt is, one of the best defensive players in all of basketball, but he also is a liability and one of the worst offensive players in all of basketball, right? Marcus Smart is, one of the better defensive players in all of basketball, but he can kind of be a little inept offensively, right? Jake LaRavia, can he be kind of a legit two-way? A Dude Thero, we'll see how that goes. Gabe Vincent, I mean, first year he was hurt. Then he came and was like literally like the worst player in basketball. Again, not my opinion, was like the first like 30 games he played was just atrocious. And then ended up kind of finding his shot, finding his flow, and you started to kind of see the progress there. Also, again, what do the Lakers do? They go trade for an Andrew Wiggins? Do they go and trade for, a Matisse Thybulle and a Robert Williams, right? There's options there for the Lakers, right? There's things that could still develop and whatnot, but I do think the defensive side of things, like people act like the Lakers are going to be the worst defense in all of basketball. Like it's not going to happen. They weren't even that last year with Jackson Hayes, right? Like, but now you have DeAndre Ayton, who he's had some great defensive seasons. We'll see if he buys into it. He said himself that he's going to. He said himself that like, hey, I want to be a better shot blocker. I want to be a better rim protector, right? If he can actually live up to those things, Lakers might be pretty good defensively. If Lakers can be, top 15 defensively and the clear-cut, best offense in basketball, then the Lakers are going to be probably a 2 or 3 seed at worst in the Western Conference, even in a stacked Western Conference, especially during the regular season, right? You can win a lot of games just outscoring teams, right? Because there's a lot of teams that they can't put up 120 points, right? They just don't have enough offensive talent, or they're not good enough, or whatever, right? They're not going to be, and they don't have the defense, stuff like that. Right? Like, so Lakers, even in a stacked Western Conference, if they're averaging, 125 points a game or something like that, right? Like, they're going to win a lot of games. Sacramento is a great example a couple years ago. They averaged like 121 points a game and were the 2 seed and then got, smacked in the playoffs. I guess smacked isn't the right word. Out of respect. I mean, they did lose to the defending champion Warriors in the first round in a game 7. So, I give the Sacramento Kings credit. But my point is that you can win a lot of games just being really good offensively. You can win a championship being really good offensively. Cue the Denver Nuggets, right? Denver Nuggets, 15th in defense during the regular season, second worst defense in the postseason. But were so good offensively, no one stood a chance, and they just breezed through everybody, right? And won an NBA championship. Now, again, the Western Conference in the NBA period is very different than it was even a couple seasons ago. The West just gets tougher and tougher, tighter and tighter. You have all these young teams that are coming in their own, right? Not really worried about the regular season. Regular season, I'm pretty confident Lakers probably win 52 games at worst, I think. I think they'll be there. I mean, they should have won. Like that Chicago game, and they had like 2 or 3, the Utah game. Right? They had a couple games that they just blew. Otherwise, they probably win 55 games even last year. And that was through, 5 different iterations of this Lakers team. That was through the trade of Luka Doncic. That was through, just all the mishaps and not having a center and all this other stuff, right? I mean, we even had stretches where we didn't have Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves was carrying, right? Like, so again, like even despite everything, the Lakers still won 50 games and bare minimum should have won 52. Again, they gave that Chicago game away. They gave that Utah game away. They win those 2 games. There's another probably 10 games that you could look through and go like, Lakers should have won this one, this one, this one. But like those 2 stand out in particular. It's like, come on, man. Like you can't lose those games, especially that Chicago game more than anything. The one where Josh Giddey hit the like half court shot or whatever, 3/4 court shot. Like those are the games. If you win those games, you're the 2 seed, right? So I think the Lakers win 52 games. Right? Like, yes, teams have gotten better, but the teams that have gotten better are the teams that were, with us, right? Like, it's not like these teams, like one of these bottom teams just got so much better that it's like, oh man, Lakers are now going to drop, right? Like, it's like Houston got better, but how much better, right? Like, their big problem was the offensive side of the ball, Right? Like Kevin Durant by himself isn't going to help that. And he's not been a model of health. You know, knock on wood, you don't want to see him miss a bunch of time. But like, again, like we'll kind of see how Houston looks. Denver, I think, is probably the top. Like Denver, I think, really kind of solved a lot. But I don't think they're as explosive. I think the ceiling was higher with, like, I think they're more consistent and arguably scarier. Because I think with Cam Johnson in particular, right? He's more consistent, right, than Michael Porter Jr. But Michael Porter Jr., right, like the thing that makes Denver terrifying some nights, Michael Porter Jr. just go off. And like there's no stopping the guy. Right? Where Cam, like he's gonna be a little more consistent. You kind of know what you got, and you got some depth and stuff like that. But also, again, like they're not a team that's trying to push for the 1 seed. Like they're a team that's just trying to get to the playoffs and trust that they can beat anybody, right? And then Clippers, we'll see how the Clippers go, right? It's funny that so many people talk about the Clippers, and how great they are and all this stuff, and then talk about the Lakers backcourt and how poor they are defensively. But I don't hear anybody talking about the Clippers with James Harden and Bradley Beal as their starting backcourt, right? Like, you're talking about a backcourt that's worse defensively. That's probably the only backcourt in the NBA that's worse defensively than the Lakers. Right? Like, yeah, but yet the Clippers are a team that's going to win 50 games. Like, it's like, and the Lakers are going to win 20. It's like, stop. Right? But again, I think in that 52 to 55 range, I'm actually a little surprised Bleacher Report said 50 games just because, again, they said that they were the 7th, did a whole video on it. They said that they were the 7th best team in the Western Conference. So it's like, okay, how do you, like, what is it? Are they winning 50 games and they're a top 5 seed? Unless you think 7 or 8 teams are winning 50 games, and the Lakers, because of tiebreakers, are going to drop, or 51 games, right? And the Lakers, because they won 50 games, which is crazy. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.